on the first session, we have discussed about DML and TDLs, right? And at last there was a query. We need to update DOB according to the ID. So have everybody completed that one? So there was a query to update DOB according to the ID. Is that completed? From
Yes.
inside. Okay. Yep. So we can use case run statement to update those as well, right? So on on the LMS, I am going to share my screen. So I have added a new file. Project one dot .xlss, which is that one. You guys can also download this one. So yes, a scenario, right? There's a insurance provider, health insurance provider company called Nova, who have shared its details. So the four files that you guys have loaded are the requirements for this scenario. Four files are header, detail, contact info, and address. So according to these files, Nova, a health insurance provider, have sent us a data dictionary. Right? So what data dictionary is any client that when we work, any client, for example, Magellan, I'm working on Magellan. So Magellan sends a data dictionary stating that we will need these tables with schema these and the logics as well. So according to that one, what we need to do is we need to load the data. So Magellan sends a raw file as in this context, Nova has sent their files, which are header, details, contact info, and address. Now we have to analyze those four files. We can go to data dictionary as well, but we have to check the logic that they provided to us, and we have to create a table and insert the data into the schema that they provided. So let's check the schema. Does this have Excel? I don't think Excel is. Okay. Open I don't have Excel. So anyone on the call at Sabine or anyone can share the screen. Uh, Excel is not available in this laptop. You guys don't have Excel installed in laptop. Anyone from India side? Yep. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Actually, are you sharing your screen?
Yeah.
Yep. So, as we have discussed, uh, we have to map into the domain model of Nova, right? Let's move to the second tab, the target domain model. So this is the document model that Nova wants. So what we need to do is we need to create a table. The fields are there. First column A is the field. Second one is the data type of that particular field. Third one is the third one is uh, also the structure, but those are for array or objects, right? And the fourth one is the description. So what Nova had shared is uh, the fields. Can you scroll down? So there are 27 fields. So what we need to do is we have already created a table, right? We have already created a table. We have already inserted the data uh, from the different with the help of select statement as well. So what we need to do is we need to create a table and then insert the data as requested by Nova, right? So the column in D, those states the logics. For example, let's take example of email, right? Which is on row number 15. So email, the target table will have a column called email, and we have to populate the member email. So now we have to analyze those four data from where we can populate this email in this particular table, right? There's a header, detail contact info, and the last one, header detail contact info, and what's the fourth address? Okay, so using these four tables, we have to insert the data as expected by Nova, right? Uh, if we check the data itself, can we go to header? So we do have ID, insurance ID, and relationship. So if we have to populate insurer ID, then we have to pick insurer ID from this particular table. Let's move to detail. So we do have all the details of employees, right? So first name, last name, middle name, email, and the email that we just discussed, that email should be populated from detail tables. So now what we need to do is we need to analyze these four tables, right? We need to join these tables, as well as we may need to check duplicates as well. There was a requirement. Taking time. So let's move to the first tab, overview. So here you guys can see that uh, once the data is ingested, the next step is data validation. So we need to validate the data as well. So if the data that is populated on those fields are right or wrong as well, because there could be the case where client sends incorrect logic, right? And we have to get back to clients as well. So those kinds of things also we have to consider. So at first, what we need to do is we need to create a table and then find uh, the keys that is required to join these tables, and then we need to insert the data into final table. Any question on this one? Mhm. Ensure ID. I've not seen the data, right? But yep, there is some primary key on these tables, and we have to join on basis of that one. at first we need to figure out which is the main table, right? And then we keep that in from statement, and then we use different types of join, which are left join, right join, inner join, outer join, cross join. All of these kinds of joins could be used. Any other questions? All good. So let's go to source dictionary, source data dictionary. Okay. Yep. So uh, this source data dictionary helps us to map which fields to be populated in which columns. So on target domain, I'll elaborate it. So basically, what we need to do is we need to create a table that is specified in target domain model. We need to use all those four uh, data sources: header, detail, contact info, and address, and use them. We need to find the relationship between those four tables and then populate the data in the target domain model. And this source data dictionary, this data dictionary is the one that will help us to populate the data. So what it says is in ID, we have to populate the data from header table, right? So let's take example of row number 10, which is SSN, right? Social security number. So on SSN column, we need to populate from detail table. So we need to go to detail table. We need to find the appropriate column for SSN, and we will need to insert that particular data into our target table. That is target. Let's open target domain model. Is there any table name? Okay, table name is not here. So what we can do is we can create a table named it is for Nova. So that could be Nova underscore target table. That could be right. Nova underscore. We need to create a table name called Nova underscore target table, and we need to populate the value. We need to populate the data into that particular table using these four uh, data sources that we have loaded. Yep. Jyotsna. Jyotsna, you're mute.
I didn't get you, sir, what you wanted to say. Will you please repeat?
Okay, so I'll start from beginning. On the first session, what we had done is we had created a table. We had inserted the data into table, right? So what we need to do is we need to create a table, just a schema that is passed in the target domain model tab. If we go to that target domain model tab, all the required schema, the fields that we need to create, those all are in this particular tab. The source data dictionary helps us to identify from where the values needs to be populated, and we need to join these header, detail, contact info, and address data, and populate the data in the target domain model. Josna, did you got it?
Yes, sir, but how?
So what we need to do is, right, you have already loaded the data, right? If I am not wrong, you have already loaded the data header, detail, contact, and address. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, so what we need to do is we need to join these four tables. We need to analyze which key we need to use to join these tables, and then we need to select the data uh, on basis of the logic that is provided in source data dictionary. For example, if I have to populate the data, the first name, right? We can see that on fourth row, there's a field called first name. So what I need to do is I need to populate the first name from the detail table. So what my query could look like is insert into our target table, select first name from detail, right? So the main table could be the detail table. Then if we go to contact info, let's go to contact info. So if we have to populate the phone, what I need to do is I need to join detail table with contact info table on basis of ID and then populate the phone. So those kinds of analysis, you guys have to figure out how we can join the tables, and then how we can populate the target values. Just you clear on that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Uh, I can share my screen. So I will we can discuss about the joins, right? We can go through these joins, and you guys can figure out which joins to be used to join which tables, right? So let's start with joins. Uh, so we have already known that there will be more than one table that we need to use, right? And when we are to populate the data from more than one table, then we need some help of joins. We could use subquery as well, but join. Let's talk about joins. So joins are used to combine rows from two tables based on some particular ID or fields, and joins helps to retrieve the data from the multiple sources. Right? There are multiple kinds of joins, and the uses of them. Let's discuss on them. So first one is inner join, and for the joins, right? We can take example of sets that we have read in mathematics, right? And the first join is inner join. So what inner join does is inner join returns the records which have match in both the tables. For example, there is table 1 and table 2, right? And if we want to retrieve only the records where the ID that we are joining is present in both tables, then we will be using inner joins. Next one is, and the syntax for inner join is, so we need to specify the columns that we want to select from table 1, inner join, table 2 on the join condition. So this one's join condition, these are two tables, the type of join and the columns that we want to retrieve. Next one is left join or left outer join. So what left outer join does is, uh, left outer join returns all the records that is available in left table. So left table means the first table, right? So all the rows from the left table are returned, and only the values that are matched with the second table, those are retrieved if we use the inner join. That means uh, the matching condition, for example, there are 10 rows in left column, left table, and 3 rows in right table, and there's only one matching rows. Then what left join or left outer join returns is, it will return 10 rows, but returns the column that is on right table with the matching ID. For example, select columns from table 1, left join table 2 on table 1 and table 1 dot column and table 2 dot column. Same thing with the right join. It returns all the records from the right table and only the matching records from the left table. Another one is full join. Full join retrieves all the records irrespective of the matching criteria. Another one is a cross join. So what cross join does is, we may sometimes need to do some uh, manipulation using Cartesian product. For example, we need to retrieve each and every data from left table and right table. That means if we have 3 rows on left table and 3 rows on right table, the output will be 3 into 3. That will be altogether 9 records will be retrieved using the cross join. Next one is self join. So what self join is there will not be 2 tables, but what we will do is we will join the table with the same table on basis of some columns to deal with some hierarchical data. So cross join and self join, right join, cross join and self join, these are rarely used, but full join, left join, and the inner join, we are mainly using that those 3 joins. Okay, these were the theoretical part. Now let's go to the practical part. I guess everyone's cluster is terminated. Cluster, okay. Since this is community edition, we need to create a new cluster. Let's spin up the cluster and load those 4 files as well. Or what we can do is we can create a table, 2 tables, and check the joins as well. So what we can do is, we have already created one table, right? That was, I created a table called Bootcamp. So what I will going to do is, I will create another table containing ID and address, and let's check using the joins. So let's wait for the cluster to spin up. I can write create table. Yes. Let's insert some of the data as well. Insert into bootcamp address. Let's all create those two tables. One was bootcamp and another one was bootcamp address. I guess I need to create the table as well. I have already the table there. Then, yeah. Address. I am inserting the data in both tables, bootcamp details and bootcamp address table. Okay, so let's check our tables, bootcamp detail table and bootcamp address table. So we do have 4 records on bootcamp details table, and we do have 3 records on bootcamp address table. So if we have to join these 2 tables, the matching columns could be ID, right? So those two tables have common fields ID. So what we can do is we can join these 2 tables on basis of ID. So what was the syntax of join? Select asterisk from the first table, that is bootcamp detail table, and then the type of join we want to use. Let's use left join. Boot, bootcamp address. Yes. Then we have to specify join condition, and we can specify ID. So if I do ID equals to ID, right, it will throw an error saying that this ID is ambiguous, right? So Databricks could not specify which ID am I trying to use. So we need to put some alias over here, or we need to specify the table name. So there are two solutions for this issue. One is we need to put the alias of the table, or we need to put the whole table name. So what I can do is I can do bootcamp details.id equals to bootcamp address.id. This will also work, or else what I can do is I can put the alias. So the table, the first table name bootcamp details, I can put alias as A, another one with B, and what I can do here is A.id equals to B.id. So I can retrieve the data. So I have just used left join, right? So on the theory, what we have learned is if we use left join, then all the records from the left table will be populated, and only the matching records from the right table will be populated. So we can see that these two fields for ID4 is null, because we have already seen that ID4 is not available in bootcamp address. That's why we are getting null for that particular ID. That is for ID4. And to order by ID or A.id. Okay, so we will have null in null for ID4. So this was for left join. Let's try with right join, inner join, cross join, and self join. What will be the output if I use right join? What will be the output if I use inner join? So we have already discussed that inner join will retrieve only matching rows. Left join will retrieve all the data from left table. Right join will retrieve all the data from right table, and then another one was full outer join. It will retrieve all the data from both table. Cross join, we can insert another rows for cross join. But prior to that, let's check for those 4 joins: left join, right join, inner join, and full join. Okay, completed for left join, right join, inner join, and full join. I will create a data for cross join. Let me add in and add with details, can address. So what I am doing is that I have added a new rows in Bootcamp address table with ID 1. So if we check Bootcamp address table now, what we will get is we will get two records with the same ID, right? ID 1. Right. So this will be an example of cross join. What is the cross join? Right. If we specify a cross join, so what I am getting is, can anyone tell me what I am seeing here? Yeah. There are two rows for the same ID, right? So what is happening here is the ID. If we check the data on Bootcamp details, we do have only one records with ID 1, right? So if we had used left join, what it will return is it will return two rows for ID1. So if we specify cross join or we don't specify the cross join, if there's an issue, so this is an issue on data itself, right? Because this same person with ID could not have address two different addresses, right? That's why these kinds of thing we do have to analyze on the data that we loaded for the four different data sources that we have loaded. Right. So here I have found a cross-join issue that is giving me two records. That is first name Subhas and last name Anand. This particular person have two records, one with address Pokhara and one with Kathmandu. Right? So when we are working, these kinds of issue arise, and we have to solve these kinds of issues, and we have to get back to client saying that the file that you send have two different addresses for the same ID. Which one is correct, which one is not correct, how we should be picking the latest one. So what here could be is this bootcamp details table. So I could have lived 2 years in Pokhara, and then now I could have moved to Kathmandu, right? So there could be a new column called migrated or last updated, something like that, and we can use that particular fields to pick the latest one. So uh, that scenario we can discuss after we. I think that's in next aggregate functions and then subqueries and then window function. So this clustering issue, right? What it is giving is it is giving multiple record for same ID. So we have to remove those. So we may have to use some window functions uh, and pick the only latest record that we need to process. That's why what we can say is there's a cross-join issue on this particular tables. So bootcamp details and bootcamp address, if we use left join or cross join, the we are getting the same result. So if the joining criteria that we specify is not one to one, then we will get these kinds of issues. And this cross-train, I would not say that if we use cross-train, that is an issue because in some context we may need these types of requirements. So client could say that I need all the data regardless of the time of an employee sitting on a particular address. So ID1 should have stayed in Pokhara as well as Kathmandu, right? So the requirement could be this. So we cannot say that if we use this left and this output, it is incorrect. But in most of the contexts, these kinds of data are issues data, and we have to solve these when we work daily with clients data. And why I am discussing about these is like there could be these kinds of anomalies data in the info data sources that we have provided. So you guys have to figure out if there's issue on that particular files as well, and if we can solve those as well. Okay, I think that's all on join. Any question on this join? I guess that is no. So those four data sources, we already have knowledge of joins as well. So what we need to do is we need to find the main table. We need to join the main table with other tables and retrieve the data and then insert the data into the target table that we have specified in project one. project one. So I think everyone have downloaded this project one, right? And tomorrow it is holiday, so you guys can research on the data, right? And another thing is this those four files that we have shared, those are dummy data, but the column names are legit. So if you guys research on those fields, what is these columns in US healthcare, then from there also you can pretty much specify which columns will be populated on which rows. So the main target table was Nova underscore target table. We need to create that as specified in the schema, and then insert the data from those four data sources. Okay, any question on the project that we just discussed? Everyone good?
Uh, Hi, Shivash.
Hi, Akshay.
Uh, I have one doubt in cross join.
Mm-hmm.
Cross join is basically a Cartesian product, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you are comparing the detail and address table, there is
Mm-hmm.
a 5 column in detail and 5 column in address table, right?
Okay.
So output must be the 10 rows,
Mm-hmm. So,
right? But we get only 4 or 5.
so
What is the
for
reason?
that one, what we first need to check is if the detail table is the main table that we insert. The main table could be header table, and then we may need to join that main table with other tables. So just looking on the ID, right? There are multiple IDs. We cannot say that there will be cross join, because if we use another table, the cross join issue could be solved. But yep,
Okay.
there will be cross join. And if you guys found those kinds of cross joins, right, then you guys can research how to avoid those as well.
This is not the correct output, right? According to cross join.
Yep, yep. We should not
Yeah.
be having cross join on the data.
Okay, Shubhas.
Okay, okay. Any further question? Okay, if there's not further question, then let's start working on this project.